So you're in Windows 10 and you went to check for updates and you saw that there was something called Windows 11 available. You installed it and now you have something that looks like this. And let's say you're not really a fan of the UI, you could move this back over to the left, but just like the start menu and all that, you're just not a fan of. There are some things within the system settings that you can change, but there really is not that much. But luckily there is a third-party utility that we could go ahead and grab called Startallback. And there's a couple ways to get this. You could go to the website and just download the exe, but probably the easiest way to get this is just to type win-git install Startallback. Hit enter, and then it's going to begin the download and installation process. You're going to want to go ahead and agree to their source terms. And we saw the screen flicker there. I'm going to drop away OBS real quick. And you're going to notice that this is now to the left, and things are going to look just a little bit different. Notably, the start menu. And a lot of this is customizable. You could change specific elements in this, and we're going to be getting into that right after we thank the sponsor of today's video, Skillshare. Skillshare is an online learning community for creatives where millions of people come together to take the next step in their creative journey. They offer thousands of classes including illustration, design, photography, video, freelancing, and much more. I've been using Skillshare a lot to improve my skills in DaVinci Resolve, to better understand how to use this camera, better lighting. I still have a lot to learn, but in my opinion, it does look better than it did, let's say, a year ago or so. And luckily for me to improve those skills, it's going to be fairly easy with the resources I have available to me in Skillshare. Now, Skillshare is for just about everybody, whether if you're a beginner, pro, the dabblers, or if you are a master in your art who is looking to refine their skills. I recently finished up the course by MKBHD and it was overall magnificent. And from there, I've been jumping into a lot of different DaVinci Resolve content since I've started using that video editor a lot more. Also, the first 1,000 people to use the link in the description will get a free month of Skillshare. So make sure you use that link in the description to go ahead and get your month for free of Skillshare. I'm sure you're going to love it. Now with that here, we have Startallback. Now, there's a couple different tabs here. You have the Welcome tab, and this is going to give you some of the components all squished together, such as Proper 11, Kinda 10, and Remastered 7. These are just combinations of the different available start menus, taskbars, and explorers. Once we get into this, you're going to be able to mix and match, but just quickly running over some of these things, we have Proper 11 here. 11 is what gives us this new start menu that kind of follows the traditional Windows start menu with your applications here. You have your directories, recent items, this PC, and some of your settings, and everything you see here is fairly customizable. We're going to check out Kinda 10 real quick. You can see how that changes the taskbar. It changes how these icons are highlighted down here. So if I go back to 11, you can see it has that bottom line, and then Kinda 10 takes it back to that square that we saw in Windows 10. And if I open up the start menu here, you can see it's darker. It takes away some of the transparency. Overall, it's a very clean look. And it kind of corners out, takes away some of the roundedness of that Windows 11 start menu. And then we have Remastered 7 here, and this is really cool. It gives you some of that kind of glass arrow classic Windows 7 stuff down here. It gives you the old school orb. You go over it. It's just like it was in Windows 7. And then if you open this up, I mean, you get the point of what's going on here. So let's go ahead and go up to Proper 11 and kind of run through some of these tabs we have here. So if I go into Start Menu, you can see it gives us a whole bunch of different options to actually customize what our Start Menu looks like, such as the visual style. Here we have those, so this is what I was saying when you can mix and match. So I could keep this Windows 11 look, but switch to only the Windows 7 Start Menu. So if I open that up, you could kind of see what that looks like. I'm going to keep this at the default, which is the default for what we have currently selected. And then here you could change the icon size, you could change the icon count. You have some general settings such as highlight the newly installed programs, you could use the large icons through here. You could display as a flyout menu, override the sort order, a whole bunch of different things. If we go ahead and scroll down here, you can actually customize all the things that show up. So for example, right here we have a link to the old school control panel. And let's say you just know you're never going to actually go into that. Go ahead and hit don't display, and now that is gone, and you actually have some room to put something else there if you would like to. For example, me, videos right here, I would want that to display, so now I have a shortcut to get into my videos folder. So overall, that's really nice, and a lot of these customization options will go over into those other layouts. Here we have power buttons, so you can actually set what that will do when you go ahead and tap on that power button. And next we have Taskbar, and this is where some of my favorite customization settings are here. Again, you could change the visual style between those main styles that we have here. If we go over, you could change the icon size, so I could go extra large with it. I could go small. Depending on the resolution of your screen, you're going to want to change that to however you want. Then you have margins, so you can really space them out if you'd like to. Have them really tight, or just go with the medium. And then right here, you could change what the actual little icon is, and you can add more. You see now it's a mixture of the Windows 7 and Windows 11 globe thing. I kind of like just how it already is. But right here, these are some of my favorite settings. These are the tweak behavior and superpowers. So you can combine the taskbar buttons. You could change this if you'd like to. My favorite thing is the centered task icons. That will take the icons to the middle, kind of like the default Windows 11, but at the same time, it's going to keep our start menu, our search thing, the widgets, and the workspaces all the way to the left, because I'm somebody who still likes to just throw my mouse into the bottom left corner and expect to be able to open up the start menu. But when I'm in Linux, which is where I spend most of my time, I do have my icons kind of centered either in a dock or something just like this within like KDE Plasma. And then we have dynamic transparency. So if I select that, you can see it took away the background of that taskbar. But if I bring any windows up to it, it's going to change the opacity based on where windows are. So that's just something that's cool if you would like that. One thing I really like is this segments right here. This, you're either going to love it or hate it, but it basically takes away the taskbar in the middle. So then it looks more like a dock right here, and you can see it's actually split up in different segments. And this is really cool. This is something I would probably do in like KDE Plasma and Linux, kind of like with the centered icons. For now, I'm going to disable it because I don't want it to be distracting. But then from there, we have some Explorer options. Now this is cool. So if we open up Explorer here, you can kind of see how it looks right now. We have the Windows 11 command bar, which is what this is right here, but we could go ahead and switch it to the Windows 10 ribbon UI if you'd like to. I do believe I have to reset it like this. There we go. So now we have the Windows 10 style ribbon, so we could go over to Share, View, kind of get that old school, well, not really old school, get the layout you're probably used to using. So if I close that out, you could also try the Windows 7 command bar. So if I go ahead and select that, open this up, we have the icons over here and a lot more of a minimal look. Additionally, we have some effects. So you could have the an effect on top, the classic search bar, details pane on bottom. One thing that is really cool is this colorize everything with the accent color. So if I go ahead and jump into my system settings here real quick, and let's go ahead and go over to colors. Now, I generally don't go with the red accent colors, but just for demonstration purposes, I'm going to switch this over to red. And you'll notice a lot of the times on things, like if I open this up, I right click, this is still blue. So it's not really pulling the accent color into absolutely everything. Another example is if I open up something like, let's say Notepad. So if I open up Notepad, kind of close this down a bit, this is all blue. Now, one thing that you probably noticed is there's a bunch of different UI fixes that I'm not going to really be able to cover, but one of them is this. This is one of my main complaints in Windows 11, is it looks like it's just incomplete with some of the things, and like without this configuration, it's this really ugly, tight thing around, it just doesn't look good. This, they fixed it, so now it looks a lot better. But like I said, it's not following that color scheming or the color accents. So all I would do is colorize everything. And now if I go ahead and go into here and right click, for example, you can see now it's red. So it's actually going to follow those accent colors appropriately. So if I go into Notepad, you can see if I hover over everything, it's all red. Check marks or check boxes and other applications are going to follow that and all be red as well. Overall, this is really cool. You can also see down here the bottom lines are red. I'm going to switch this back to the Windows 11 command bar. Additionally, we have some advanced settings. So you could customize appearance with some custom colors. You could tweak the Windows settings here. You could disable it completely. So if I just checked this, disable itself if I logged in and logged out, but I'm not going to do that for now. And then we have About. Now this is a trial, it's going to expire in 30 days, but if you used it for the time, I think it's like $5 or something like that to actually keep this going, which really isn't too bad. It would be nice if like some of these were free, or it like blocked you out of like some of the more advanced customization options, or only let you do this. But unfortunately, after 30 days, I'm pretty sure it just stops working. So that's something to keep note of. It's easy to uninstall if you do run out of 30 days. Now, one thing I want to show you, like let's say for example, you like the Windows 11 start menu, but you like some of the other customization options, such as these accent colors, the icons in the middle with the start menu to the side. You can disable specific features within this. So let's say we wanted to just completely disable this custom start menu. You just come in here, slide that to off, and now if I tap on this, it's going to be the Windows 11 start menu. So super cool utility. Again, if you want to go ahead and grab it, it's just win-git install Startallback, or you could head over to their website. You could see specifically all the different things they go ahead and do for you here. A whole bunch of different fixes that go beyond the customization options that we explored. And you got some screenshots and some other things. You could download it right here if you do not have win-git enabled on your system. But if you do want to get win-git, I'll leave something down in the description below so you can install it. Again, the license key, I think it's $5 or something like that. Not too bad. I might consider it if I do end up continue using it. I've installed this on a separate drive because I'm going to be using it for ArcGIS Pro. But yeah. With all that said, I would love to thank our YouTube members and Patreon supporters. We have Mitchell Valentino, Sledgehammer, Phil Matt, Kyle, Timo, Anthony, and Chris Curtis. Thank you guys so much, and thank you to all the other Techie and Techie Plus members. And of course, again, thank you to Skillshare for sponsoring this video. If you want to try out Skillshare, use the link down below for that month for free. With that said, if you would like to support the channel, you can. There'll be hit the join button, go down below to Patreon. If not, liking this video, sharing it with your friends, subscribing, ringing that bell so you do not miss any future uploads is more than good enough for me. With all that said, I do hope you have an absolutely beautiful day, and goodbye.